This is the 2011 Running for the Wells 11K 5K, benefiting World Harvest Mission's water well projects in Uganda. This is the pre-run speech featuring Jonathan Gunderson of World Harvest Mission and Jeremy Affeldt, professional baseball player. We had well over 100 people sign up to either volunteer to run or to just simply to come on out and join us for the barbecue and stuff. So we definitely want to thank you for that. We do have a slideshow here that you guys can look at afterwards from my previous trip 3 years ago. So if you want to see the projects themselves, see what they look like, see some of the people, the children who are affected by your donation, then you can kind of take a look at that kind of after the program. But this is the nice thing about this year, certainly as we've grown, is that we've had the chance to kind of enlist help in the process and enlist other folks to be able to kind of help us out. And so one of the people that we approached this year was Giants pitcher Jeremy Affeldt, who's right over there. So he's got the dude with the big, the guy with the big bandage on his hand. So. You know, we're really thankful and appreciative, not only that Jeremy and the folks in his foundation that he agreed to kind of come out here and speak to you a little bit about some of the stuff the work that he does and his foundation does, which kind of fits in line with what we're doing at World Harvest Mission out in Uganda, but that he obviously he's come out here, he's been hurt pretty badly, and obviously he's out for the season, but the fact that he was still kind of continued to kind of honor that commitment to be here with us today is certainly something that's a testament to his character, and we want to kind of invite him up here. We brought him here as an opportunity to be able to share with you a little bit about his foundation, the stuff that they're doing, the work in Uganda, and a little bit about the inspiration and the commitment behind that. So we'd like to, right now, we just want to introduce Jeremy Affeldt, pitcher for the San Francisco Giants, to come on up and speak.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, unfortunately, 2 days ago I decided to put a knife through my right hand and sever 80% of my ulnar nerve in my hand. So I had surgery on Friday night, about 8 hours after it happened. And so I'm sorry, I'm on some pretty heavy painkillers, so if I'm slurring or I just pass out, I'll apologize to you right now. But one of the things that I was really encouraged is to see, you know, because when I started the well digging stuff, I didn't necessarily know really what I was doing. And when I came to San Fran 3 years ago, I ended up sitting down with a group called Not For Sale out of USF and learning about human trafficking. And as I started learning about human trafficking, I started to learn more and more about third world countries and the stuff that they had going on over there and the issues that they had going on. And one of the things I was encouraged to look at was the well crisis, the water crisis. And I didn't know anything about my water crisis. What do you mean water crisis? I was 3 years ago, I was totally oblivious. Because I can go into a store right now, I got 12 different options of water, right? I didn't really, most people in America don't really understand the water crisis issue, nor do we understand what water does to the body or how big it is to a community of people. As I started to look into it, I started to realize that 90% of diseases come from bad drinking water in these third world countries. And then like 94% of the hospital beds around the world are due to people that are in the hospital because they drank bad water. And we just don't, and those are huge statistics to see and realize that most people are totally oblivious to it, and we don't even understand why. And so I started doing some research on it, and my organization is called Generation Alive. And the whole reason I started an organization called Generation Alive is because I'm trying to encourage young adults, 15 to 25, that's most of the area that we work in, how to empower young people that are hurting outside of this country and in the country in poverty areas. And so I want to challenge young people, how can they help? What are ways to help? So when I talk to them, I want to share, how can you help with the hunger crisis? Or how can you help with the water crisis? Or how can you help with orphans and creating orphanages? And how can, at their age, how can they do it? And so we've developed different projects for them to help out in. And one of the projects we are helping it out with is, I work with a group called Living Water out of Houston, and we put in wells. And one of the places I put in 2 wells in the last 2 years, Generation Alive has, in Kazira. Uganda, and then I realized Jonathan came up to me and said they're doing wells in Uganda as well, and so I wanted to share with you why I got into it. When I was, I'll share a quick story with you, because this is the angle that I come at it when I come to helping people in need and in poverty, especially with wells. When I was in 7th grade, I was at an Oakland A's game. I used to live in Merced, California. And I was at an Oakland A's game, and I can remember sitting in the stadium, and I was on the first level. And on that, I was watching Mark McGwire and Dave Stewart pitch, and Canseco, and all these big guys. And I remember seeing Mark McGwire hit, like, I think 3 homers in one game. And I was there, and I looked at my dad, and I said, "Dad, I'm going to play here one day." And he patted me on the head, like all good dads. Hey, sounds good. What are you going to say, And I remember him just, I never went to baseball camps. I just played sports. And I just knew for some reason I was going to be there. And in 2002, I walked through that center field fence out there in Oakland. I was going to start that day. I was pitching that day. And I called my dad on my cell phone, and I said, "Do you know where I'm at?" And he said, "Yeah, you're in Oakland, right?" I said, "Dad, I'm looking at the exact section that I was in, 10 years ago when I said I was going to play here one day. And now I'm playing here. I've accomplished my dream." And my dad, he's a military guy, so he's kind of a tougher guy when it comes to emotions. And he just started crying on the phone because he realized I have the ability to dream. And he realized he gave me that ability, and I accomplished my dream that I had since I was a little kid. What lack of water does is it kills the ability for anybody to dream. Because instead of them dreaming, they're dying. Because they're trying to drink water that is no good for them. They get dysentery and they drink more water, and they basically shrivel up and die because they don't have good drinking water. And I don't know if any of you guys have seen some of the stuff that they're drinking out of over there, but it is sludge. It is a green sludge, and guys are surrounding these little sludge puddles, and they're charging people for even that water, and they're dying. And so now these kids, they can't go to school because they're too sick. The moms are walking 7 miles a day to get a 40-gallon thing of water or whatever they got to carry on their head. The dads are too sick to go to work, so there's no ability to thrive. And these kids cannot dream because they're too busy throwing up or just shriveling away. And what wells do, what I see water do, is it encourages those kids to dream, because now when they drink that water, they've got life. True life. Life comes from water. If you look at it, nothing grows without water. Nothing lives or survives without good drinking water. And I remember 2 years ago, the trip that they had for us to go into where we put this well in. I was actually in spring training, so I could not go. But I sent a couple people from my staff, and they sent me some footage from over there while they were there. They took some footage and sent it to me, and I remember you see this water, this well pop, and this fresh water shoot out of the ground, and you see a village of 1,500 people sprint across this field and just stand under this water like it's the best thing they have ever seen. And you look at that and you're like, man, my toilet bowl's got water like that. We just don't get that. But you see these little kids who are standing under it, and they're mesmerized, and they're like, we've never seen anything like this, and they're dancing under it, and they're cheering, and the people that are doing the pump, and then the kids that are holding the bucket, smiles on their face because they have life. Someone cared enough to give them life, because that's what wells do. And that's what I think you guys are doing. What you guys are doing, you're running and you're raising money for this. You're not just running. Most of you love to run. Personally, for me, it's not my gig. I'd rather throw a baseball and walk 60 feet to the dugout, but you guys like to run. That's what you guys like to do. But you guys realize that what you guys like to do is providing life for other people, and that's amazing to me. What you guys are doing is awesome, and you guys raising this kind of money to help these people. And the cool thing about it is you have a love your neighbor as yourself mentality, because these kids in these villages that you're putting these wells in, they don't know you, and you don't know them, and you're just wanting to give them life. You're an awesome friend. You're a friend to people that don't even know you. You are just a great friend because you're willing to do these things to make sure that other people can live and other people can dream. And that's what you guys are doing. And I appreciate you for that. I really do. I'm really excited that you guys are doing this. And it's hard enough to get people to understand outside of their own homes, let alone outside of their own country, about someone that is actually people that are hurting because they can't get something so easy as water. And so I'm very encouraged by what you guys are doing. I'm very proud to be here in this room with you people and hang out with people that have a like-mindedness to raise money to do wells. And for me, unfortunately, I haven't been able to get over to Uganda, but the pictures that I see when I see these kids standing under this pump and just letting water hit their bodies, it'll bring a tear to your eye, because the joy that these children have and these villagers have, the simple joy from a simple thing as water for us is huge to them, is amazing. And I encourage you guys, man, to get pictures. Hopefully they send pictures back and just show you the life that you brought and happiness that you brought these people. And I really appreciate you for it. So thank you, guys.
Thank you, Jeremy. That was certainly a good message, certainly a message for all of us as we come out here and we run today, to be able to see that the impact of what you're doing today is going to last for generations. A building that gets put downtown lasts for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. Maybe your house, may very well be 100 years old. But these are the types of investments in which it's going to last for generations. These pumps almost have very little maintenance in them, so they're really, once they're in and once they're dug and once they're built, they're going to be, on average about 600 school children which will take from that well, maybe 400 to 600 villagers which will also come to that well as well. So, everyone's always talking about, what's the best rate of return on my investment? That's kind of the big catchphrase out there. What am I investing in, and so forth. Well, you're investing in 1,000 to 1,200 people's lives so that they can live, so that they can dream their dreams just like we do here, because that's always the American way, is to have a dream and to be able to go for it and pursue it. And what you're doing is you're basically allowing those children, you're allowing those villagers to be able to have that opportunity as well.